I've now got to assume that people can hear me. So if you are watching on Twitch, let me know if you can hear us, because on Thursday the audio didn't work and you couldn't hear us. So I need to know how we are
It is
doing.
working.
It is working. Good stuff. It is indeed working. I like this. This is good. So welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. You hopefully will either be watching this live with us tonight, or you'll be watching on YouTube. We just put our stuff up a couple of days after YouTube because it has to remain on Twitch for 24 hours because of T's and C's, which is good. Means you can still watch it on our Twitch channel. You can see at the bottom lots of little social media things. The Facebook, the Twitter, our YouTube channel, our Instagram channel, and a Heavyweight Gaming Patreon. So, at our Patreon, anyone that does subscribe, we've got a few Patreons kicking in and about, and we are very, very grateful for them. We have something called Arcane Script, which is our 5th edition compatible lore, classes, monsters. It's a piece of work that we've been putting together with actually Mr. Valentine and Arcane themselves, who are on the game. So we have Rob and Eddie. We have a Grace now who's just jumped in. So yeah, so Arcane Script is it's a bunch. We built a world, we called it Colossus. We put a lot of stuff in there, and it's very, very heavily 5th edition compatible with your Dungeons and Dragons, your open source licensing, anything that you play that uses the 5th ed rule set, you could probably wedge in. So have a look. If you do have a look, thank you very much. And anything's made through the subscription just goes back into stuff that we can do more heavyweight gaming stuff with. Yeah, there's my sales pitch. I never worked in sales. So we are sponsored by Roughworks Creative. They are a woodworking, well, I say they, it's a good friend of ours called Nick, who does a lot of hands-on woodworking for dice trays. He does leather armour, does some cosplays. He did Jorma, I can't remember his name, from Game of Thrones, for a cosplay in Dublin, got 2nd place. So if you look at Roughworks Creative on Facebook, you can go find a lot of the stuff he's doing. His dice trays are second to none. They're just unbelievable pieces of kit. So if you get a chance, have a look. This bunch are known as the Fable Forgers. We started a monthly game last summer, I think. We got together once a month, we streamed it, we got 3 sessions in. You can see that on our YouTube channel. There's about 17 and a bit hours worth of story. It's lovely. So yeah, we got together. The plague made us not get together, so we're now going to do this over Zoom. We're going to stream it, because why not? Stream everything else. So hopefully you'll jump on and have a laugh with us. So what I'm going to do first is I'll introduce the players. So tonight we'll be using Roll20 in Zoom for those that ask on Facebook or YouTube or in the chat. So I will go through the players first. Ding 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 ding. Where are we? So players, we have Mr. Valentine. Give us a wave. He will be playing Tales of Wonder, a Tabaxi swashbuckler with Armani grey fur. We have Katie. Give us a wave, Katie. Who is Marcus, the human assassin. We have Big Sam. Give us a wave. Playing Argon, the human bard of the College of Law. We have Grace. Give us a wave, Grace, if your camera's on. And playing Norma, the gnome illusion wizard. And then the 2 without cameras is kind of funny because they're playing brothers. They are Dragonborn of a blue scale variety. Both are paladins. One the Oath of Devotion, and one the Oath of the Ram, a homebrew oath that we came up with and is in the magazine. We're here. It is worth noting that Goragar, the Paladin of Devotion, is an inch shorter than Marcus. That's very important. And Heskin, the Oath of the Ram, has every ranged weapon in the book on him. And he makes Leonidas look like a Barbie doll. So, we are going to go. I'm going to give a bit of a recap. I'll be as quick as I can. because we don't want to spend all night listening to my voice, although I would. So we are playing on a island that is enormous. It's a country, and it's several countries in its own right. A continent far from the rest of Colossus, unknown to a lot of them. It is called Stoneheim. There are 3 crowns that rule here: one of iron, one of earth, and one of bone. And the creatures of power forever test the monarchs that lay claim to the island. Legends are made, not born, and Stoneheim is the blacksmith that wields the hammer to forge such legends. Dun dun dun. Get some dramatic music. So, here's the recap. Here's what they did in session 1. They got given a job. They had to deliver 8 barrels of wine to Borjal. They met up and hired 2 guards. These 2 guards were called Gorigar and Heskin. It all went very well. There was measuring off against one another. Totally fine. Everyone was happy with sizes. It turns out that Gan, son of Dalf, cannot speak Dwarven. Thank you for that, Norma. You can see that in episode 1 where she makes me look an absolute silly bastard. It's lovely. The crew of the Nymph are responsible for Greenbeard, who is not with us tonight, Tails and Marcus delivering the wine. They are heading to Borjal, which I've already said. On their way, they pop into a tavern called the Rocking Dog. They all have a drink. There is cucumber and rum ordered. It's important that you know this is not a cocktail. He gets a bit arsy with that. And stuff happened. They all got together. They all decided, yeah, this is a great team. There's 7 of us. What could possibly go wrong? So they head off on their merry adventures. They discover a... Well, I turn off my Facebook so it doesn't ping on the audio. I do apologise. They discover a great smoke in the sky that is a mile or 2 long. It is a supernatural burning smell. They discover that the town, or very, very large town just short of being a city, Indris, is ablaze and surrounded with a golden fire. None of the buildings are damaged, and there's no sign of anyone. They fire an arrow to put out the fire. It does not work. They are then attacked by Shugari elves. Elves that are mountain elves, and they have a white stripe across their face. And they get killed because the party is amazing. And there is a massive praying mantis type creature that watches them as the ambush kicks off. And it also turns out that their pirate friend, which you'll probably see another time, is incredibly good at killing elves. Session 2. Gorigar finds the finger of a halfling called Rosalind Crankfoot. Greenbeard swapped his dice because he kept rolling nat ones. The black smoke in the sky begins to break up, and then the professional expert that is Norma informs the party that it's a large shadow dragon. They don't believe her, despite her many nat 20s, saying, no, it is. We discovered Norma was a great cook, so she did lots of cooking. They went on. There was some more stuff where they managed to be friends. They decided to... They found a caravan of 40-ish people. So the first thing they did, as you would do as a party of 7 and delivering wine to a city, is they tried to rob the caravan. They 2 out of 3 succeeded. The third, being Marcus, the assassin skilled in all arts of nothing stealth, decided to anger the little halfling guard that was there. She wasn't happy, and they proceeded to find out that one of the Shigari elves was in hiding in one of the wagons. A fight happened, people nearly died, elves did die, and shooting into the roof of a soft top wagon was done. So a bit of blue on blue there, it was very nice. Poor Gorigar. It then turned out that the Shigari elves have actually taken the children of the caravan folks and were holding them hostage. And essentially they had to deliver a diamond to Borjal, and if they did so, they'd get their children back. But then the party killed the elf, and they all got very scared and very angry. And Norma and Marcus failed to convince the caravan people that it was a good idea to trust them. And I quote, "Can I trust you?" The answer was, I think so. So we moved on from that. They then got to Borjal. They went to the Rusty Hook. They delivered the wine. They got their money. On the way, I do apologise, on the way Marcus was slain in a fight against some very horrific creatures with scythes for arms. They all had a bit of a shindig. They robbed Marcus's body, picked it clean, toenails and all. but then had a moment where it was more lucrative to get Marcus back. So they got back to they got to Borjal. They used the diamond that they were supposed to deliver for the bad guys, and resurrected Marcus. Then they all got paid. Then they went to a library. Norma got to speak with Dugera, who was a lovely elven lady, and they had some great talk of books and the shadow dragon called Guldari. So you have the Shugari elves and the Guldari shadow dragon, and it was all lovely, and lore was discovered. In the Rusty Hook, the people working there are 7 dwarves. We'll move on for that. Tails and Greenbeard decide to bully some young'uns, claim it's banter, clearly bullying, video evidence. Goragar's not happy about it, but lets it go, and you know, why wouldn't you? Oh, flying through these notes. Oh, the best bit. Oh, Eddie wore dungarees that day. I made a note of that. So you can see that in episode 3. Eddie is in dungarees. Argan and Norma went to see the militia. Argan decided to tell them all about the weird and wonderful creatures that did or did not exist according to the militiaman, and the dragon that may or may not have existed. The militiaman was not convinced, so Argan gave his name and Norma's name to the militiaman. And then when he dropped that there was more of them, they were a bigger party, and the militiaman said, "Who were the names of the others?" Argan's response was Susan and Giraffe. The militiaman did not believe these 2 names. So Argan apologised for lying, claimed the rest of it was true, but then said, "Well, actually, my 2 mates are called Greenbeard the pirate and Tails of Wonder, who was a massive cat." So that went down really well. So what they have found out is the shadow dragon that flew over them was called Guldari. The elves that had been taking people were called the Shugari. They did a bit more. They got Marcus res. They wandered around town. They spoke to Heskin, was about to join the Sabertooth mercenaries and disappear off the island of Stoneheim. Marcus was not dealing well with having come back from death. They now decided to head back towards Grell, where they could move on to Foracy to get back on the Nymph, the ship that Greenbeard works on, and all go about their merry ways. But on the way there, they've decided they're going to go into the mountains, try and find these Shugari elves, make a few quid, or at least a couple of them are there to make a few gold, and the rest of them are going to save the day because that's who they are.
That's what heroes do.
That's what heroes do. So we will come in where, on the way out of Borjal, they had a massive fight. It was the end of session 3. In that massive fight, Goragar was taken by the Shugari elves and these scythed-armed creatures into the mountains. Tails and Greenbeard remained in hiding whilst Marcus, Norma and Argan went back to Borjal to speak with the Sabertooth mercenaries and Heskin, to let Heskin know that his brother was in trouble and they needed help because they didn't believe they were strong enough on their 5, the one down to 4, 5, 4, whatever, to go in and rescue Goragar. So we will start our game with Norma, Argan and Marcus arriving at Borjal again. So as you go into Borjal, as you remember, it's a very, very large port town on the Lake of Glycea and is all wood. They very rarely use any other material to build. It is quite a sight that if you look at it at a certain angle from up on high, it looks like just a one mass of rickety wooden floorboards from the rooftops. Walking in, you know where you were last time to go and see the mercenaries. And off you go. So we have a Norma, Marcus and Argan. You are in the town of Borjal and you are heading towards the mercenary buildings, guild type areas where a lot of the mercenaries sign up to get their work. 3, 2, 1, you're in the room.
I say we carry on to get the to speak to the mercenaries. You guys think?
Really?
Marcus is quite quiet and just kind of nods.
Norma,
Yeah, I'll follow.
have you spoken to any of these before? Because I've spoken to them recently.
The only person that
Don't
spoke
believe
with,
so.
the only person that interacted with them was Gorigar. So,
Just saunter up to them then.
as you approach, it is a horseshoe-typed area where the buildings are out and about. You can see they're almost digs for groups of mercenaries. So they're all sectioned off, so each mercenary can have its own digs, essentially, depending on how many of them there is. They, looking around, the only thing you can remember about the mercenaries that Corrigal spoke to is their badge that they wore either on their shoulder or hanging on off their belt and stuff like this was a kind of burnt orange disc with 3 claw marks across it.
I'll try and find the first one I find with the orange disc with the claw marks on it.
Cool. You see appears to be human. It's got very, very pale skin with a slight edge of grey to it. Is a good nearly 7 feet, covered in chainmail, with a black sleeveless like wool cotton waistcoat, massive great sword on his back. He's got, you assume his hair's either bald or incredibly short, because the black bandana he's got on, there is no hair coming out at the bottom. He's got a bit of growth going on, and you can see a red, like tattooed stripe across his face. And he seems to be talking to a blue-faced demon, which you would probably recognise as a tiefling.
Well, I'm not going to interrupt the conversation. Is there anyone else to speak to that's not in conversation?
And they're both of these people are wearing these discs, these 3-clawed discs on their chest. The person in the blue demon, so the blue tiefling, is in like a leather trench coat that's long, and has got a curved longsword at his hip that's sheathed. And they're just chinwagging away.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I don't mean to interrupt, but have you happened to see a dragonborn in your mix? A new guy, a newbie, if you will. He only just joined recently.
As you ask, the door behind both of them. So as now you're close, you can see this large Goliath-looking chap. Is enormous, and the tiefling next to him. Just as they're about to answer, the door opens and Heskin is stood there. Heskin, can you describe yourself quickly, please?
I can. I'm a fairly tall, blue-scaled dragonborn. Wearing chainmail. I look a little bit buffer since I left. All the scales are a little bit shinier, but also a little bit rougher at the same time. And I also seem to have grown claws in the time that I've been gone.
Okay.
A day.
I've got my big crossbow. I'll take one look at Argon. Hey! Argus.
Close.
Alright.
We'll go with that. Can I speak to you for a wee minute? Just a wee minute, just a tiny one.
Yeah.
It'll be very, very interesting for you.
Yeah. I'm always happy to have a chat.
Well, come over here.
Got a drink?
Probably on my person, somewhere.
Alright, cool.
The large
It's important.
Goliath just looks at Heskin. Any trouble, Bluey?
No, it'll be fine.
Do I look like I could be trouble to the massive dragonborn and what are you, like 10 foot, 350 pound ball of meat?
Well, I am carrying a bit of a holiday weight, but
Exactly, man. Look at me. I'm a young boy in your shadow, sir. Let me just talk to my friend here.
just give us a shout, Bluey, if you need us. The blue tiefling's looking at the large chap, like every time it says Bluey, and like just looking at himself. No, all right, none of me is. Never call me Bluey. All right. So you take Eskin off to the side?
Yeah. I'll cut to the chase. Your brother's been captured by mantis creatures. We need to get him back. We probably need your help to do that. And you can bring your friends. That would be awesome.
I turn back to the Goliath. All right, I take it back. I might need some help. But not with him. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, as you say that, he puts his hand on his greatsword.
What you doing?
No, Argon's good people. Argon's good people.
All right, well, you'll have to speak with the boss lady if you want any external help.
All right.
Well, it's for his brother, you know.
Yeah.
It was. We tried. He fought gallantly.
Is he part of the Saber-Tooths?
Yes.
He could be.
You're both lying. So.
I know he could be.
I'm a very good liar.
Until he is. You are a very good liar. That's fantastic. I'm all over not trusting you now.
But that's true, just so you know.
You'll still need to speak to the boss lady.
Well,
so
you want to take Marcus and Norma, we'll go and speak to boss lady.
Yep.
Yeah, Marcus, Norma, come on.
Cool. So
I need at least some friends in this room.
Heskin leads you in.
I'm friends.
Heskin leads you in, and it's down a single short corridor, and then an immediate left into like a lounging area in this building that's obviously been put aside for the Saber-Tooths. In there is a dwarf with a blonde mohawk and very little beard, just a bit of blonde stubble. Yep. Has massive leather pauldrons that lay down. It's typical. If he got any wider, he'd be a rectangle, and he's just sat drinking out of a big, thick bone tankard, and his axe next to him is absolutely covered in dwarven runes over this double-bladed great axe. It is. It took you a day and a night rest to get back to Borjal as you were riding hard because you took the horses with you. So it's been
always ride hard.
Always ride hard. That's what the rumours are. So you are fully aware that Gorigar was taken over a day ago. Sat next to this dwarf, this dwarf and this human woman that he sat next to seem to be doing some sort of monetary admin. They're counting coins on the table, and there's about 6 sacks of gold on this table. The woman sat next to him has long brown hair. She has pink and blue makeup around the right side of her face. It's sort of it's like a Phantom of the Opera type style, but it's blue and pink makeup. She is wearing a corset that makes her cleavage look like it's her main weapon. And she has 2 short swords sat on the table next to her, and etched into one is pain is temporary, and etched into the other pride is forever. And
I seem to remember those swords.
She's talking to the dwarf, and they seem to be doing some monetary admin. And Heskin, you know her as Lucia, aka Boss Lady, and you know the dwarf as Tom Left Hook.
Yo, Heskin, is boss lady?
Yes, boss lady.
Can you
Writing that down.
I don't know, go up a bit of an introduction so I don't look like a complete table on it.
I like how you think that I'm going to make it look any better.
You're wearing that thing that I'm not.
That's boss lady.
She turns around. Bluey.
How's it going?
Not bad. More recruits?
They could be.
I don't like more recruits. And as she turns, she sort of leans on the chair and leans forward.
So the cleavage is all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a tool in her negotiations.
Right. Okay.
Just for people watching, right? I know this person This is her character design, so don't be blaming me for this. Carry on.
I'll let them introduce themselves.
My lady, I am Argon. These are my friends. Point out Marcus.
Hello. And you wish to join the Servitude story?
Well, there is a pressing matter. Heskin here has a brother called Gorga. He was travelling with us. And he has been captured a day and a half ago now by some creatures, very powerful creatures, scythes, taloned monsters. We could not, as a group, try where we had to run. Gorga had a bit of a limp, and he was taken. We came to ask, well, for Gorga's help, and hopefully, maybe yours.
You want to hire us?
Depends. Well, I was more hoping for charity.
She looks at Heskin. Have you not explained we are mercenaries, Bluey?
I have explained that it's one of his kin.
Yes, but it's my brother. They might join us afterwards. It could be we go along, we see how they do, get my brother out. Everybody wins. They join us at the end. It'll be great.
Right, give me persuasion check with advantage. Either Argon or Heskin. I will leave it to you two to decide.
My persuasion is +6.
Well, that's not quite what I meant. I was like,
you want to give it to me?
Well role played, lads. Well role played.
Right.
We've got a +8 with a longbow.
Can I try and persuade?
If it's up to you.
But then again, Heskin was talking.
Heskin, roll persuasion with advantage.
Yeah.
I accidentally did it 3 times, but I think I'll go with my first roll.
No, the first one seems good.
Jesus Christ! Right? Why have you done it 3 times?
I pressed it twice. It must have clicked 3 times.
The first one is definitely the one who's going for it. So.
Yeah. So with a 26 for the viewers at home, she sort of leans back a little bit, adjusts her corset, looks at the dwarf. The dwarf just nods, and she looks back at you and she's like, I think a couple of us will come with you. It's always nice to check out the new recruits.
I'm otherwise engaged, but you know.
So why? What good are you to me then? What do I get in return for helping you? I mean, Bluey here is obviously going to go to help his brother, so I can hold that against him and get more work out of him. His brother will probably be
Do we have a time limit to how long we stay?
Well,
I mean, you should have just quit while you were ahead, I think, with this negotiation.
If you want to join us for a contract term, we can always negotiate.
Grant. So a couple of you. 4, 5? That's a couple.
She looks at Tom again. He nods. You'll only need the 3 of us.
Four's a good number. I mean,
4 is a good number when we're testing out new recruits.
3 is good. Heskin, right? Heskin's a 4. So.
Yeah, yes, that is a very good point. Heskin is definitely a 4th. That'd be a good, nice run out for him. It's his first outing with us. It'd be nice to see him in action. In fact, I'll come along myself.
Well, that's excellent news for Heskin's brother, Gorigar. And
Heskin looks gobsmacked. He's so happy.
Grand. Let's go save your brother. That's the main thing, right? Not checking out our stuff. You're not gonna like stab us on the way out, right?
Not unless I'm paid to.
Excellent. Don't pay. Nobody pay anyone.
You see everyone reaching for blades just coming out of the shadows.
Yeah.
And one looks remarkably like Tails. He's like, what the fuck is he doing here?
Stop flicking coins out. Stop flicking coins out.
So,
yeah, just get like some money.
how quickly do you need us to leave?
We need to ride hard, apparently.
Apparently.
Excellently. I misspoke.
Wow. She looks at the musical instruments about your person. Tom, you're coming as well. He don't look happy. He does not look happy at that sentence at all. He grabs his axe, puts it in its little hoop on his back, and he just says to her, "We're gonna need magic." She's like, "We'll go get Titus." And he just shakes his head again at that mention, and he walks through a door at the back of the lounging area. Yes, I'll bring Tom and Titus along. They'll do nicely with whatever you've got to bring as well.
I'm sure I'll sing tales of your heroism for many years.
We have someone for that, but thank you. Right, we'll go get the horses if you wish to leave now.
Yeah, please. Oh, Eskin, it's up to you, man.
Well, you guys have got 2 horses, so Marcus was on one, and I believe it was Norma and Argon on the other. So you have 2 riding horses that could get you back again. Again, you'll have to stay out at night to get there.
Get stabbed.
Getting stabbed.
Yeah, don't mind.
Cool.
I think it is a bit urgent.
Right, so we shall meet you at the stables. Bluey, you know where the stables are? That's you, Heskin.
Yes, Bluey.
You do.
I think I do.
Lead the way, Bluey.
I begin to lead
So much easier to say.
the wrong
Just
way and then the right way.
So, you guys make your way over to these stables. If you wish to converse on the way there, please do. If not, I'll skip ahead.
Oh, Bluey, tell me.
Alright, you don't get to come with Bluey yet.
You know that's
They
not
could
going to
take
stop
me down for like love for
Yeah.
nothing. I feel that I've at least got a chance when it comes to you guys.
What have you been up to in our absence?
I've been training. I've been trying to get a bit fitter, and
growing appendages.
been quite happy in the idea that my brother's safe with a bunch of reliable people.
You have
So,
met every single one of us, right?
You've met me. I'm not as
One of
more
us died.
reliable than
One
I
of us
am.
died taking the wine back,
I
and
don't
we're reliable people.
We did try our best. And,
So, what? Yeah, let's unpack that one. What happened there? A mantis creature.
they're large insectoid like monstrosities with giant size for arms and breathe fire and acid. They
You-
could eat me like in one bite. It's
You remember them,
a
Heskin,
surprise we survived.
on the way in to Borjal, you were part of the fight that Marcus lost
Yeah.
his life.
Okay.
But you then rode ahead.
Yeah, this is fair. So it's the same kind of mantis people.
Because somebody bailed on us, but we won't mention any names.
They're
That's why I get called Bluey. So,
they're
Bluey.
either transformed people or bred inside of people. It was disgusting to see that metamorphosis happen.
That sounds great.
Like spiky
Yeah.
hands, So what's this all about? Got
What?
tapping the claws on the way back.
What do you mean? Well, it's who I am.
I didn't have them last time.
I
And
don't
it's
pinch
only
your skin and say, "What's this about?" Do I? You get attacked.
please don't.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
did you-
just
It's a me thing.
Did
Gorrigan might
you
get it
grow
one
your
day.
fingernails out? Yeah,
No, it's
grow your
just
fingernails out there, Argon.
part of growing up. Part of being a.
So what you're saying is you ran off to the mercenaries and hit puberty. Is that what you're saying to me?
I mean, I guess a kind of puberty. Not like the squeaky voice puberty, but like the being a tough, draconic creature that can beat down fools. Kind of puberty.
Beating down fools is a good thing, I suppose.
You make it to the stables, right? Before anyone's genitalia drops and someone gets a deep voice. By the time you get there, the Sabertooths are already there. You see Lucia, aka Boss Lady, in her chainmail. It is short sleeve, so it just covers her shoulders but doesn't go down past the rest of the arm. She has a hero belt that has the burnt orange disc in the middle of it, and her 2 short swords are either side of her. You see on a thick silver chain and a medallion, or medallion-esque amulet, a half-arsed love heart. You recognise this as a holy symbol, Heskin. Yep. Next to her is Tom Leftock. He has an enormous dwarven great axe on his back. His shoulder pauldrons are real thick leather and lead, and then he has almost a scale mail effect of leather armour in the rest of him, with plates of metal all around the leather bits, around the vulnerable areas and stuff. And it goes down past his knees, and then he's got some shin guards, and he's got big forearm armour that seems to have a strange symbology on it, different symbols on it of animals and such that you can't really see from where you are, and a thick white bear pelt that is like under the armour and almost wears it as a cloak. No helm, just a forehead. Next to him is what you assume to be Tidus, the one he went and got. A slender human, spiky blonde hair, real mucky blonde, stubble all over his face, very young, must be teens, and is in a scruffy little robe, wrapped type jacket thing, with no hood on it, 2 thick spell books that look more expensive than anything on him. They're really well made, really well wrapped, beautiful leather, arcane glyphs all over them. Normally you recognise them as his wizard books, and they're attached to this thick belt, almost like a holster for these 2 books. He's also carrying a staff, and there is an orb that is rainbow in its colouring. When it shimmers, you can see all the colours of the rainbow, and this orb just floats around with him as if it's a pet, and it just sort of moves with him and bobs about as he's walking. And they have 3 very large, burly looking horses, all saddled up, bagged, everything. And you approach, and Lucy is like, "So Bluey, we will follow your lead. Don't disappoint." And they leap into their saddles from standing.
Yes, Bluey, lead on.
Yes, Argon, lead on.
Oh, that will come in. Marcus, you're the sneaky one.
What?
You know your way back there.
What? To Bourgeal?
Go in, Bourgeal. Welcome back.
To the place we were going.
To where Gorigar was taken.
AD, I'm assuming I do know the way. And
All
have been
3 of you do, yeah. All 3 of you know the way back. It's the road you followed on the way out. There was no off the beaten track. You guys all followed the road in and then followed the road out and were attacked on the road.
I asked Argon, why do you want me to do it?
I don't know. You look down.
I was dead.
You're not now.
Let's just go.
I will. If you want me to lead, do you want me to lead?
Yes.
Literally shimmy up the nearest pipe.
So you, what?
We
Climb
ride
it? You're going to climb the pipe?
And just kind of. I want to be able to look down the street. You know, like Hawkeye takes a view, and he feels more comfortable looking down.
Yep. So climb up. You climb up. There's no need to roll. You climb up quite easily. And you're perched now on top of the stables. Yep. These stables are quite wide. They must hold about 40 horses. So very large
Yeah.
stables.
Marcus, need I remind you that Goigar is being probably eaten alive, and you're mucking about. Get on your horse.
So Lucia goes, excuse me, loud one.
Oh, it's me.
Taps him on the shoulder, yeah. If you're so annoyed that he's done that, why did you not
Yeah.
just lead in the first place?
They want to take all the limelight, yeah?
Looks at Tom and Tidus, and then Bluey. Time wasters. And she starts heading out. Follow me. And she starts leading the horse. Or her horse.
I follow along the
Because
rooftop.
So it's Norma
yeah,
and...
well, Norma would be already on a horse, just
Yeah.
kind of like waiting for people to finish arguing.
So Argan, you on the horse with Norma, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was waiting to go.
You start going. Marcus is running along the rooftops whilst I'm assuming
No horse.
Heskin is on the other horse.
Okay.
So you all leave Borjal, head out back on the road. You travel, you get to your day, you spend the night. The dwarf, the human, and the lady human, so Lucia, Tidus, and Tom, don't even suggest taking a watch and just set up camp. Get their heads down in their sleeping bags, and they are out like they are in the best bed money can buy. Whilst you lot are setting up camp, Tails, you're essentially on your own because we have no Greenbeard. So there's not a lot for you to roleplay with, other than me pretending to be Greenbeard and saying, let's run away now. Alright? But we'll stick with the original plan for now.
What do you think we should do, Greenbeard?
I think we should be heroes, give them all our gold.
Excellent
Roll a
idea.
magic 8-ball.
So, can you give me a stealth check, mate? Because you are obviously going to ground for 2 days.
$16.
16, cool. So you're between you and Greenbeard. Let's roll Greenbeards. Rolled a 16. So you two you got ground. You stay close. If you have to move, because you start seeing patrols of elves coming out and about, just in twos. You've not seen a 3 yet, maybe a single one or a pair, but never more than that. And they just seem to be out and about. It doesn't surprise you because they captured one. They might be out to capture the rest, but they don't seem to be engaging in the roadside. They seem to be finding a spot, hiding, and then looking out towards the road. You use the shrubbery and mountainous areas, and obviously the bottom of it where there's larger boulders and stuff like this. And for the next couple of days, you and Greenbeard, unless you decide to assault the baddies alone, avoid them and just stay out of the way, essentially. You just keep to ground. Gorigar. Unmute yourself. It's about to go down, lad. Anytime now, Gorigar. Anytime.
Oh.
We've lost Gorigar.
Yeah, he's gone.
Cool, we'll get back to Gorigar. Kev, unmute yourself when you're back. There you go.
I'm unmuted, sorry.
Wee. So,
The phone site on pause.
so last we left you, mate. So obviously this is all happening over a couple of days. You discovered that the halfling woman that was in the cell with you was indeed Rosalind, your charge not so long ago, where you had failed to protect her. In doing so, you'd injured yourself quite badly during the fight, and this is why you lived. But you'd also thought Rosalind dead, until recently, over the last few days, nights, with this merry bunch, you discovered she wasn't indeed dead. And you discovered her finger. This led to, when you this discovery of her being alive, you were captured from the baddies, from the elves and their horrific creatures. You were taken to a cell through a tunnel system into the mountains, and whilst in that cell, she explained quite scarily and fearful, and she'd been beaten. There were wounds on her. You checked her out naked. I'd just like to put that out there, by the way, with video evidence. And yeah, she told you that they were getting fed evil, and she was not really herself, kind of away with the fairies. And the last time we was with you, you had 2 of the monster guards on the outside, and an elf turned up with a black sphere in his hand. You'd cast Sanctuary on Rosalind, and you'd managed to grab one of the leg bones and sort of snap it so it's a bit of a makeshift shiv off one of the corpses that was in the cell with you. And then this elf turned up with his black orb. And we'll go back to that now. So he looks in, sees you with your, ready to die bone thingy, and casts, just waves his hand and says, "Don't be silly," and casts Hold Person on you. So can you give me a wisdom save, please?
17.
Well, motherfucker. You feel a magic take over you. For a brief moment, your limbs feel heavy as they're in thick mud, and then you sort of shake it off. Realise you're only an inch shorter than the rogue, but you can get through this, and you shake off the Whole Person spell, much to the dismay of the elf before you. Impressive.
Don't you be silly. Stay there while we discuss what's going on here.
Well, please discuss away. It will be lunchtime soon, so. How are you? What is your name?
I won't be eating anything if that is what you want.
It's not for you. It's for
My name is Gorogar.
Pleased to meet you, Gorogar. I am Willowtongue. He gives a little nod.
Well, I don't know how much of this you want to be polite about. You do have me prisoner here.
Well, yes, my lovely friends here, and he looks at the 2 horrific, monstrous, slimy, bald-headed creatures with their bone scythe arms, just drooling acid onto the floor, and it sort of as it hits the floor. They are somewhat aggressive when bringing guests to my house.
Well, I'm impressed that I'm still here alive, but don't think that they scare me.
Oh, we don't intend to scare you. Just need you for a little while, that's all.
Well, I don't know what you're doing here and what you're doing to her, but if you want her alive to carry out whatever plan you have and whatever's growing in her, then just leave me alone.
So, if I want her alive, I must leave you alone. What are you planning to do?
To be honest, I don't know, and that should worry you.
give me a
Intimidation?
No, not in this scenario. He's in a prison against 2 massive creatures and a wizard, or he might be a bard. No one knows. Give me a charisma check.
9.
Cool.
Oh shit.
I could waste the rest of my magics upon you, but I quite like that you resisted it. So I'm going to leave you be. I am assuming that you will attack when I open this cell to feed the lovely Rosalind. And he's sort of looking at your bone shiv.
You can put the food in. I doubt we would it.
I don't wish to force you. Rosalind has taken it of her own free will. Insight check.
$16.
He's lying.
Well, I'm not sure I believe that, but even so, she probably was forced to eat after a time. But that time has not come for me.
Okay. I'm quite intrigued to see what you will do. I'm going now. I have things to take care of, but your food will be here soon. Eat up, drink up, or not, may be the case. Sooner or later. You will. And he sort of bows, looks back at you as he's about to leave. And then he walks off down these tunnels. And these two creatures just sort of stare at you, banging their heads against the bars. And you are left with Rosalind and yourself. As she's sort of rocking.
Yeah, you better walk off.
He chuckles on his way. Rosalind's rocking. I don't mean she's got a guitar on, she's just sat in a corner. Unless you speak to Rosalind or try to do anything, time will pass.
No, I mean, I've got the gist of the badness that's come there. If any food is brought, I will burn it with my flame breath.
I thought you were lightning.
Well, fine, the blue lightning breath. Either way, it was that.
So you're going to shoot a 60-foot line of...
At a plate.
At a plate. That may entice the guards to come in.
And out of the cell.
Oh yeah, I'm fully aware where it's going. So so food is brought.
They'll get the hint.
Food is brought, and it is another elf, and quite a young elf. There's a young lass bringing the plate up, and then a young lad behind her, both elven. She's got the food, and he's got 2 jugs of some clear liquid and a couple of drinking vessels, and they just bring them up. They open the cell door, step in.
I will let them place the food and get out of the way. This is more a symbolic gesture of that they're not going to get us to eat the food.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure at 53,000 degrees, 53,000 degrees, lightning wins this bowl.
It's magic lightning, not real lightning. Just putting it on.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough.
So,
the point was I'm targeting the bowl, not at people. So I'm not trying to kill the elves.
Fully aware.
That are placing the food.
The 2 young elves put the food down, and then they leave and they bugger off down the tunnel. So you're left with the food, the drink, the 2 guards, Rosalind, and your breath. Do you breathe your lightning breath?
Yes.
How are you hitting? Are you trying to hit you like the 2 guards? If you wanted to hit one of them, you wouldn't be here to hit both in your line, because obviously the way the cell is. But you could hit one of them. The food, the drink, just the food, just the drink, the food, the drink. Rosalind.
I'm not trying to hit the guards with the flame breath.
So
this is not antagonising them. This is an overkill at the food to show I'm not going to eat it.
So is that the food?
And drink, I'm assuming.
General.
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, that was naughty. That was. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not even there, but and the drink as well. Just an assumption. That is shocking. Don't assume.
I did say food and drink in my original.
No, well, that's why I asked you to repeat. So, do a death saving throw because Grace cheated. No. So you put both the food and drink. You blast your 60-foot lightning in this 10-foot prison, and it absolutely disintegrates the food and drink. I'm assuming you put Rosalind behind you. That'd be harsh. Yeah, took out Rosalind as well. You torch up all scorch marks all over the prison stone wall. The 2 scythe monsters outside got absolutely bananas, mate. Start banging on the iron, roaring at you, screeching, there's acid spitting everywhere, and the first one spits acid at you. Remember you're butt naked, mate, so it's 10 plus your dex is your AC. What is your dex?
-2.
So your AC's 8 at the minute. That is fuck. It rolled an 18 and spits acid at you.
Just out of interest, do you need to roll the dice?
Yeah, I do. You take 2 points of acid, which I believe you were only on 1 hit point anyway.
I've got it here that I was on 30. I think I healed up.
With your
Not
layer,
maximum.
you used your healing, so you take 2 points of acid, and it spits at you. The other one doesn't spit at you, but it's kind of gnawing on the iron bars, just going mental. Yeah. Do you have any plans other than not eating and just being defiant?
Yeah, just literally being defiant. The thing, there are 2 big monsters here. I'm butt naked with an AC of 8. I can't get a long rest because they won't let me. I'm just waiting for help.
Cool. So a day passes, another day passes, and you are very tired. You now have 2 levels of exhaustion. You're on the morning of the 3rd day. Rosalind has passed out because every bit of food that comes near you, you won't let her touch. And she was on the brink anyway. You can tell she's still alive, but she is shallow breath and again passed out. You don't see Willow Tongue again. You just see the same young lad and lass bringing the food in, dropping it off, walking away. They don't return to collect balls or anything. They just bring new ones. They don't bat an eyelid that you've written your name, Gorigar was here in lightning scorches across the cell. Yeah, and that's what happens over your next 48 hours ish. Remember to mark off 2 levels of exhaustion.
Will do, yeah.
Cool. Going back to the Sabres and Argon, Norma, and Marcus. Do you take watch on your nights away?
Yes.
Cool. During the night, who watches first, second, third? And fourth, I'm assuming Heskin watches. The Sabres,
I'll go first.
no interest. So you got Norma.
Solid second, mate.
Argon. Marcus.
I'll go through. Yeah.
And Heskin. So, during the night, you all spot elves far away. They sort of light a torch. You can see it in the distance. They come close enough that you recognise their elves, but then they batter off. If any of you make any alarm or movement to wake one another up, they just disappear. Torches get put out and they disappear. If you wake up Lucia, Tidus and Tom Tom, they simply just wave you off with words of "don't be stupid." They, do you know who we are? Type mentality. You wake up. Norma does breakfast again. Apparently it's a thing. You've done it every morning, Norma, and evening, just so you know. You all have a bit of a fry up, or whatever Norma's put together. Give me a survival check.
Let's see.
Got to keep it consistent, Eddie. You know what I mean?
19.
Cool. Slap up. Full English. Middle of Stoneham.
Yep. Can I do my inspirational speech for the morning? For everyone.
You can
Yeah.
indeed.
I'll take this one from Mr. Balboa himself.
Yes.
I'll tell you, let me tell you something I already know. The world ain't sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean, nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you down to your knees and keep you permanently there if you're late. And I'll carry on that spiel.
For 10 minutes. And you all receive, is it still 7 or has it gone up now?
It's 9 now.
So you all get 9 temporary hit points. Including the Sabres?
80.
Well, it's up to 6 allies. So what have I got with me? I've got...
You've got 6 allies.
I'll have them all then.
Cool.
There you go.
Marcus, go.
Actually, it's Katie.
All
Can
right.
you? We've got the PDF, so can you make a note of that, please?
Yes. So you have 9 extra points.
Thank
Do
you.
you not have a pencil and notepad?
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Sure.
Or a laptop in front of you with the ability to make notes? I mean, come on,
I'll
kids.
get the chalkboard out in a minute.
Jesus Christ.
You're asking too much of us.
No pigeons were harmed in the making of this. You've literally got an A4 pad in front of you. I'm going to stab myself in the eye with a dildo. So you all set off after a lovely breakfast. You are aware that by lunchtime you will meet up where Tails and Greenbeard told you to meet up, where you first left them, and they said they'd make their way back there to meet up. You alright there, Marcus?
No, I'm flagging, mate.
Jesus. Get some Lucas yeah. You meet up, Tails. You see 3 lovely, saddled, beautiful, heavy set, could travel for days horses, carrying a brown-haired human woman in chainmail, a dwarf, a human child by the looks of it, is about 17, 18, and you see Argon, Norma, Marcus and Heskin. I have assumed Marcus jumped on the back with Heskin once you left and run out of rooftops.
Oh yeah, and so nimbly and spectacularly, he didn't even realise for about 5 minutes when I just kind of whispered in his ear. He jumped and he shat himself.
Give me a
On
stealth
the
check.
saddle.
Give me a stealth check. That would be,
This is Marcus we're talking
we're
about.
going to do a back
You
in
don't,
time
want
thing.
to share a saddle with someone who just shit himself. I'm just saying.
Plus stealth.
Yeah, sorry, my laptop, I need to log in again. Plus stealth?
Yep.
16.
Cool. Give me a perception check, Heskin. This is D&D, kids. Trying to avoid shitting someone's self.
Shit
Good
in the
thing to
saddle.
avoid.
It is. That's very true, Norma. It's very true. Go on, Heskin.
Perception.
Ooh.
19. Cool. As Marcus leapt, this is obviously 2 days ago. As Marcus leapt, you watched him spin through the air, land, and you may have said, "Ooh, I shit myself," which is why Marcus thinks you made you shit yourself. A day and a half later, Tails, you see this lot coming towards you. Jesus.
Quite the motley crew.
Motley is definitely the word.
Oh, we brought back up, Tail.
Might I ask who?
Heskin's lot. Bluey, apparently now.
Interesting.
Heskin?
Yeah,
Oh, Bluey.
Tails.
Bluey, tell them all about him.
I've got a new gang. It's alright.
Lucia
Fine.
just sort of sits smiling, like, waiting for this wonderful monologue you're about to portray.
Sure, you interrupted the monologue. It was just, let's go. Nice to see you.
I see.
Let's go save my brother.
There are rather a lot of these scouts out and about. I suggest we formulate some sort of a approach if we are intending on doing this. You have to forgive my brashness. I've been out in the scrub for a few days now.
Tails looks real fast. He's itching and everything. He's got fleas, man.
Things I do for this Gorogar. Anybody have any ideas? Do we wish to go with a full frontal assault or try and sneak in?
As a person, I always prefer the full frontal. I'm just saying.
So Lucia and Norma shakes her head. Lucia and Tom Tom and Titus get off their horses. Lucia turns to Titus. Please deal with the horses. He waves his hand and polymorphs all 3 into little mice, and they run up his sleeve, and he puts them in a little carry, like it's been made to carry smaller animals, just on his belt. We are very open for a full frontal assault.
Would Norma and I know that spell was quite a powerful spell?
Norma
would 3 things up.
Norma would immediately recognise the spell as polymorph. Never known it to be multiple.
Can't sorcerers double cast though?
Sorcerers can, yeah. But you triple cast. But you
It's
are right.
staffed.
You are right. Sorcerers can twin their spells. Sorcerers also don't generally need wizard books.
It's for show.
But it's
You might just be a giant nerd.
that is very true.
It's all for show. No. I'll just go, wow. That was quite an ability you got there. Do you even need us to come along? I'm just saying.
Well, how many enemies are there?
Lots.
Well,
It looks like an entire hive of these things.
unfortunately,
And elves.
Tidus is very able to change 3 of them. But if there are more than 3, and they are strong of mind, the horses are not very strong of mind. Tidus just nods at Lucia's words. Tom Tom's took his axe off, reached into his backpack, pulled out like a coloured stick, one of green, one of red, and he started putting like these weird war stripes on his face. I say weird, he's putting war stripes on his face.
Tails, do you know the way? Have you scouted to way 2? Where,
What do you think?
No.
Well,
Tails did a scouting reconnaissance the first time Gorigar got taken, so he knows where he was and where they went. He just never went to the tunnel.
but your faith in me is noted. I remember that. I can lead you there.
Well, so you did know then.
Of course.
So why the? I'm not. Right, cool.
You try and stay in this dreadful place for longer than a few hours if you don't have to.
You could have come with us. It's his fault, the point at Greenbeard.
And leave the likes of you here.
We didn't need to leave anyone here.
Well, perhaps that's a matter for another time to discuss. If we are doing this, shall we do it now?
We can.
Yep.
Me and my fellows are ready. Heskin, Bluey. Time to earn your coin. And you see Lucia hold the silver love heart on her chain, close her eyes, whisper something, and a blue tinged with like powder pink line goes around her and then fades. Tom puts his axe on his shoulder. Tidus just stands there, like looking awkward. Lead on.
So, like they are prepared? Is anybody else going to prepare themselves?
Take my loot out. No, yeah. Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
We were quite inspired earlier by Argon.
Do we know where they were going to fight?
Where?
Assuming in that tunnel.
Probably in a tunnel.
Okay.
You can assume underground, in dark, close quarters.
Okay. Marcus is a bit. Oh, okay. He's trying to think of, because he prefers vantages to look down. So as soon as you say that, because he hasn't been following, he's been in his head. He just goes, and just kind of withdraws, like takes out his knives, and just kind of, as he's thinking, just taps them together a little bit, just showed that he's actually thinking, and then he puts them back and goes, right, okay, I'm done.
Might I suggest that we utilize either myself or Greenbeard to, how to put this, follow up the rear, as it were, if we are to do a full frontal assault. Naturally, I would probably suggest myself in either capacity to lead or follow up from behind. But as you ragtag bunch could probably use more direction, I wouldn't be averse to leading the charge in some other way. If you are not against Greenbeard, and I'm sure he would be willing to accept this, staying a little bit behind the main assault in order to pick off any that might try and circle round us if they are still outside the tunnel.
I think we should definitely put Greenbeard at the front.
Greenbeard looks at you, looks back at Tails. He goes, "I'll be at the back with Tails."
Oh, fine.
I don't mind. I don't mind being skirting around. If Greenbeard, you keep more of an eye on the back, and I will try and keep an eye on
You're
how
taking the
things
piss?
are going down the edges.
You're mocking me.
I'm not mocking you. I'm simply saying that perhaps your skill set belongs elsewhere than a direct assault.
Can you just say watch the back? Do you have to say keeping an eye?
Yes. Well, anyway.
You two seem to have like you bonded great in the last 2 days. So let's go and get going, yeah? Tails, you're looking fine. You got your sword ready? Yeah? Got your sword? Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you,
Yeah? I'm going to try and inspire you for the next 10 minutes if you're willing.
send me in.
Me and Coach, I'm ready. Oh, there you go. You got a D6 for 10 minutes.
Brilliant. And a +8 longbow.
How am I supposed to say that in roleplay, mate? I'm just a...
Heskin,
It's a really
might
good
I-
longbow.
Let's go.
Boom. 10 XP for now.
Heskin, might I suggest that as it's your brother and you are perhaps more suitable in this manner, that you are the first to make ground towards this tunnel?
I hold up my giant crossbow.
Let's get involved.
I'm ready.
Yeah. For that longbow.
Well,
Mommy, you ready, yeah? Can we put a bell on Norma so we know where she is?
No.
Yes. Norma, fireballs your face.
She's just invisible all the time.
So, your plan is to what? So, it's clear that you have a couple. You're probably half and half for sneaky and full frontal, from what you have stood in front of you, people-wise. Other than Greenbeard and Tails saying we'll cover the rear, what is the actual plan of approaching the tunnel entrance? You're just going to walk into it?
We've got the obviously the melee guys. We've got.
You do notice that Tom looks at every one of you, then at his own armour, and then just shakes his head.
might I suggest that I would be more useful in slightly more open ground? As we get closer to the cave, perhaps there's a chance that we could lure some of them out in order to engage a small force of them outside the tunnel, and perhaps myself and Marcus can dispatch some of them more quickly than if we are to form a line in this tunnel system.
Do you want to make a great racket now?
I believe as we get close to the cave, most of you will make a great racket just by your very nature.
Well, what I was thinking, if we can create a great racket, draw as many as we can out, I can turn it invisible and unlock locks.
Yeah, me and Argon could sneak in.
Norma can turn invisible. Yeah, Titus, my man, can you turn invisible? We got that spell in this today.
Give me a moment, and he sort of fumbles at his.
Might I suggest that we don't send everybody with these sort of capabilities into the cave or the tunnel?
Or me and Norma can
I
go
feel
in.
like magic support would be useful outside as well.
Indeed.
True.
I don't know how to turn invisible. And he sort of looks at the
Okay.
floor shyly.
Then, my darling, you should be staying outside with us. I'm sure you're thrilled.
So we need to make a great racket outside. Me and Norma turn invisible. Go find Goragar. And make our way out.
He puts his
Shall we?
Tidus puts his hand up. I can summon an elemental if we need stuff on the inside or maybe outside. Earth elementals are good at breaking the tunnels down if you want to do that.
If you could use that outside while we try to draw them out to provide opportunity for those who can turn invisible to sneak in, that would be most beneficial.
Okay. Do you have a particular one you'd like me to summon?
Earth is good. It's punchy. Like you said, you could probably knock down the tunnel after we're done. You know?
Okay.
It's hard. You know? I don't know. Just a thought.
Okay, I will. I'll summon an earth elemental.
That's pretty good, mate.
He nods in thanks.
Right, let's go. Let's do this.
So, you are all heading to the tunnel. Those of you that planned, so what you sneaky types are going to go up first and sort of what position yourselves in areas around the tunnel entrance while the thumpies draw them out with a bit of an intention grabbing sort of thing, or
So yeah, I believe myself and Marcus will position ourselves towards the cave entrance, along with the invisible Argon and Norma. They will head into the cave when people start coming out. We'll have Greenbeard cover the rear, as it were, away from the main bulk of the fight. And then the rest of the motley crew will engage anybody who comes out the tunnel.
okay. Cool. So those of you that are hiding or stealthing or positioning yourselves in a quieter area, give me your stealth checks now, please.
Sorry.
18.
18,
20.
20. Norma, are you just going invisible?
Yeah.
13, 80.
13. Who else is going quietly? So Heskin and the other three won't be. Okay.
So it's worth having Norma and Argon getting as close as possible to the cave so that they can nip in, essentially.
If I can get away without using the invisibility, like saying Norma first, check, I'll stealth in, then I can use my invisibility on Goragar.
So that is actually really cool. There's this beyond thing. Once the distraction happens, Norma and Argon are going into the cave. Is that right?
So when enough people have run out, yeah.
Okay, so that's the plan. You guys hold them outside while you two run in. Okay. So you make your way there. You guys keeping yourselves relatively out of the way. Tails and Greenbeard show you a way there that they've been using over the last 48 hours to stay hidden enough that you don't cause much of a distraction. You are hitting this place like in the middle of the day, or just after, so like one, probably closer to 2 actually, in the afternoon. You are, as you see, and obviously the mountains are sky high in front of you, reaching up, reaching tall. You don't see any scouty elves, the ones that Marcus and Greenbeard had been seeing. There doesn't seem to be anyone doing any patrols at the minute. it takes you not too long to get to where Gorogal was taken, and you can see in the mountainside at the base, or coming towards the base where it raises up and you get the flatter, cliffier type terrain, you can see this large, maybe 15 feet across, like tunnel cave entrance. Stood just in the doorway, you see two of these scythed creatures, the medium-sized ones that are about as big as Heskern and Gorigar, that sort of size, and they are just sort of lurking just a bit back from the entrance in the shadowway. You have a brief moment to have a last execute plan moment, and then you will execute your plan. Do you have anything else to throw in there before you execute?
Ada, is it a natural cave or is it man-made?
Natural.
Marcus, might I suggest that you maneuver yourself into a position that you can dispatch one of these guards quite quickly, and I'll attempt to at least cause a little bit of a ruckus with the other guard, and then maneuver myself away from the cave, and that will be the start of the assault, shall we say.
AD.
Yep.
Can we see the cave entrance at the moment?
You can see the cave entrance, and you can see the two creatures just like in and out of the shadows.
You take the one on the right, I'll take the one on the left.
Yeah, is it possible for us to sneak up and stab him?
They are in and out of the entrance, so you might have to get yourselves into a position, throw a stone as it were, to cause them to step forwards, and then they'd be in range. It's unlikely you could go in. So they're like, imagine they're going between 5 and 8 feet backwards and forwards from the entrance to just a little bit back to the entrance. So they're sort of peeking rather than stood like doormen on the door. So you'd have to cause something outside the doorway just to make them step. As soon as they step, you two would be in position, hopefully, to nail them.
Could I use Mage Hand to move a stone, like trickle down the side of the cliff or something?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
There's plenty of little cantrips you could probably all do to cause some sort of sound.
I will watch for Tails' cue.
So Tails and Marcus, you make your way up to either side of that cave mouth. What did you get? 13. You step. So you Tails, you're sort of going like this. You make your way up, and then you go to your either side, yeah. And you step on a twig, Marcus. It snaps. You look across. Tails is gone. Like you look at the cave mouth. They haven't batted an eyelid. They did not hit a twig. So you both make your way. You're now either side. So it's 15 feet across is this cave mouth, and you are either side of it. Yep. So you can both see each other, waiting for that signal, and these two creatures, you can hear them just like on the inside of the cave mouth. What are you doing to get them out, or what did you tell your lot to do to get them out?
Zargan is Mage Hand the cantrip.
I could either Mage Hand the rocks or the fat halfling again.
Just use some sort of cantrip to draw them out. Yeah.
Cool.
Could either minor illusion or use a Mage Hand to like lift rocks and bash them about.
Cool. So Argon, what are you doing to distract them? What are you getting them to step out?
I'll do the Mage Hand rock slide off the thing, see if that works.
So what's the range of Mage Hand?
30 feet.
30 feet?
Quite close.
Yeah, you will have to get quite close.
Can I sneak up too?
You currently are sneaking. You've got a 20.
Can we not just get a rock from the floor and just throw it in front of the cave?
You could do if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you launch a rock.
Yep.
And they do indeed fall for it. Fucking idiots. They both sort of, and they step and they sort of come forwards, their bone scythe arms just sort of hanging down, their haunch legs, they're hunched down, sniffing at the air, and they sort of go out, and you can hear the tss, tss, tss as their acid breath hits the floor, and they step out of the cave mouth. Do you activate your surprise rounds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Marcus, you are an assassin rogue. Therefore, if you land your blow in assassin mode, and you have advantage on your attacks because neither of them have a fucking clue you are there and you are hidden, you automatically get a crit because you are an assassin. Tails less so, but with advantage, who knows?
What do I need to roll?
You need to roll your d20 twice. Pick the highest number. So roll it twice.
8.
Is your highest number.
Mate.
So add your bonus. So if you look at your character sheet, on your actions,
My actions.
yep. So you should see your weapons.
Yeah.
And yeah. So what does it say for your? I'm assuming you're using your dagger or
It's
short sword.
Well, hit +6.
+6. So it's an 8 +6. So you've got a 14, which hits.
Yeah.
You just hit them. Jesus. Tails.
She just
I will booming blade with my rapier.
Cool. So that is a spell and a strike in a single move, isn't it? In a single action.
Yep. So I'll roll the attack.
With advantage, mate.
Yep. Ooh, that's good. So 24.
24 definitely hits.
Yep, to hit. Cool.
So
So booming blade is part of the action. You do a melee attack. On a hit, the target suffers the attack's normal effects and becomes sheathed in booming energy until the start of my next turn. If the target willingly moves before then, it immediately takes 1d8 thunder damage.
cool.
And then the actual rapier damage it does is 11 points of damage.
So you've done 11 total.
Yeah, just 11. That'll be piercing damage with the rapier.
Does the booming
and
blade
then
only do damage if it moves? It doesn't do it on this attack.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if it moves, it gets the 1d8.
Yeah, it triggers
Yeah.
it. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
Right now, Marcus. So with criticals, you go to. Did you use your dagger or short sword?
Dagger.
Cool. So what we do with criticals, or at least what I do, is the damage dice it tells you to roll, which I think is a D4 on your dagger.
It says 1d4 plus 4 piercing.
Yeah. So you automatically get a maxed damage dice. So a
Okay.
D4, so that's 4. You
Yeah.
then roll a D4 and add it to that 4.
It's mine a sneak attack is what it would be a sneak attack.
Yeah. So you get your
Yeah.
they're sneak attacks.
Yeah.
shitload of D6 dice.
So you're saying I get 4 plus another roll plus 4?
Yes.
That's 9 then.
So that's 9. So that's your 9. Now do your sneak attack as well. Now on your sneak attack, how many D6 do you roll?
It doesn't say.
So give me a sec. So where is Marcus? So on
'Cause
your
remember, I've got the PDF, haven't I?
not the character thing. So your sneak attack.
You can deal an extra 2d6 to one creature.
So you automatically have max damage dice plus your roll. So you already have 12 points.
Okay, so I roll another 2d6.
And add it to 12. Yeah.
Jeez. 9 I rolled, so 21.
So 21 plus your 9, so 30. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So you did 9.
Yeah.
Then you rolled your sneak attack damage, which was 21.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Which is
Yeah.
30. Yeah. So, Tails, sorry, you do your sneak attack, mate.
So, yeah, I do an extra, so 4 points of damage, so there's 15 in total.
Cool. Can you both roll me a D100?
I don't have a D100.
Do you have a D10?
Yes.
Do you have 2 D10s, one with double numbers and one with single numbers?
Yes.
Cool, roll them both. Tell me what you get.
10.
10?
What's
Yeah.
the 10 on the actual D10? Is it 100?
So what did you get? What did you roll? Tell me the
I
numbers.
rolled a 4 and I rolled a 10.
So you rolled a 4 on the
On the
singles,
single digit.
and you rolled double zeros on the other.
No, I rolled 10.
Oh, so
0,
yeah, so 14. Cool.
Right.
You both have done something I was testing, and it worked really well. Hey. So, as they both step out, bear in mind you fought these creatures before, a couple of times now, and they took more than a bit of a strike. But you've fought them a couple of times to the point now where you kind of get a feeling, especially you rogues, of knowing where to place your blades, rapiers, etc. when fighting such creatures that are able to take massive amounts of damage. So as they both step out, Tails, you step forward, you whisper the words of your arcane spell, and you sort of dip your left shoulder, thrust out with your rapier, and it goes up, through, out, mouth, through, eye, out, head. Yep. Probably could have worded that a bit better. It goes all the way up. You see the eyes sort of start flickering and twitching. The acid starts dripping onto your blade and on the metal, and as you whip it out, it sort of wipes it clean. You see your sparking lightning wrap around its corpse, and like a cauterized net, pulls into it. So it actually kills it, and just like the predator net, just and it collapses on the floor. At the exact same time, Marcus on the other side of the cave flips his dagger into his hand, steps forwards, comes round the back of it, and rams the dagger straight up under the jaw, similar to where you struck. And you feel it, Marcus. Your hand break the jaw, so it goes soft around your hand, and the dagger comes up to into the brain. And you pull it out. Acid burns your hand, and they both just go and drop to the floor. And you do your single strike kills, shabam, and then step back to the wall.
Any like rumblings of thousands of these things coming out of the cave?
Not off that. That was a very clean, incredibly stealthy, skilled kill. You both needed under a 15 on your D100s, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, and you got a 14 and a 10. I'll explain why later. So go on.
Okay.
Are we doing the plan? We're doing the plan. Like, where are the others? Where are the Burley lot?
They are further down, waiting for the signal from you guys.
How heavy are these creatures? Probably just dispatched.
It took Heskin and Goragar working together to shift them. They're just heavy lumps of sinew and muscle and bone sides.
I gesture to the others.
They start making their way up. They're all in like little crouch positions, coming up the way, except Tom Tom. No fucks given. Straight line at the cave door. You're like that. He starts whistling.
How far are me and Norma away from the?
How far did you want to be away?
Well, I want to be not seen, and G's invisible.
So you two are going to swap places with Marcus and Tails and get ready to nip in.
Yeah.
Tails and Marcus, you're going to move slightly back out and hide, so you can pincer them.
Yeah. We want to move away. We don't want to get too close to the cave front at the minute. We want to keep our people away from the cave and get people to come out into the open.
Okay. Is your immediate plan the Earth Elemental and everyone else takes a position?
Yeah.
Okay. So you...
I'm going to have to be back in a minute.
Cool. You all get into position of where you wish to be. Titus takes out a small piece of clay. There we go. Takes out a small piece of clay, sort of starts mushing it together, breathes into it while whispering some arcane words, and just drops it on the floor. And you see the soft clay just immediately go and it starts building and building, almost like popcorn exploding into where is it? Into a large earth elemental. Just big heavy rock fists hit the floor. It's got no facial features, it's just got that humanoid-esque shape to it. That's slightly off, with thick legs and arms, torso, no neck if there was one. Tidus whispers to it, and it goes towards the cave mouth and starts slamming into the side round the entrance, cracking some of the stonework. Not enough to cave it in, but just to make a very, very loud noise. And you can see Tidus just off to the side, never taking his eyes off it. You'll be shocked to hear that lots of elves and lots of these creatures come running out. And by lots, there are 6 elves, and there are 6 elves, 7 of the bone scythe monsters. Yep. They come out, they engage the earth elemental. The elves step back. They come out of the cave with the creatures, and essentially sick 'em type mentality. And the creatures go flying into the earth elemental and start hacking away, and it starts slamming into them. The elves are looking around. Of the 6 of them, 2 of them have bows, 2 of them are wielding 2 short swords, and there are 2, it's like there's 2 squads, like an archer, a sword, and some sort of, they could be a caster, but they don't seem to be carrying any bladed weapon or bow on them at the minute, other than a dagger on the hip, and they're looking around, but they're away from the cave mouth, and they're fighting the earth elemental.
Is that when does it stop? When it stops,
Tom,
people stop running.
So that's the amount that comes out. A few seconds pass long enough for you to acknowledge that there isn't anyone else rushing out of the cave mouth. Tom goes running up the hill to join the earth elemental. Lucia isn't far behind him, but doesn't go flying in. She's got her 2 short swords, and she's just casually walking towards the fight. Tom's at a sprint. And Tidus is obviously still keeping eyes on the earth elemental, because I believe it's concentration, and if he loses it, it's concentration. So note to you lot, Norma, you probably know this, Tidus will have informed you before the fight kicked off. If he loses concentration on the earth elemental, he no longer controls it, but it doesn't go away.
Where's Heskin?
I don't know. Where are you, Heskin?
I'm probably going in with them. If we're still going by the tunnel, going in that way plan.
Cool. So you head up the hill with Lucia and Tidus. I'm assuming you're not sprinting up there with Tom, or because you're a ranged sort of chap.
Yeah, I've got the crossbow.
Cool.
Out and out.
So what Marcus and Tails, Greenbeard's just going to hang about out back. Tails and Marcus, I know you stepped away from the cave mouth enough to be, away from it to let Norma and Argon run in. But how do you go about it? What's the crack-a-lacking, kids? You've got 13 enemies out in front of you.
We will stay towards the flanks of wherever the enemies are, either side, and just look to keep pincering in. Does that make sense?
So, Marcus and Tails, give me a couple of attack rolls to each.
Attack roll.
Yep. You as well, Marcus, when you get a chance. Heskin, give me your attacks. Give me 2 attacks.
7 and a 16.
7 and 16. Are you
Two
aiming?
attack.
Yeah, two
Roll
attack.
two.
Yeah, two attack
Roll
rolls.
2d20. So one of them is 6, one of them is 18 that I rolled.
Add your +6 to it. So these are actually attack rolls. So was that your dice roll, or was that with the addition from your character?
No, that was the dice roll.
Cool. So you add your dagger attack to it that you added to your sneak attack. So was it +6?
Yeah.
Cool. So what did you just get?
So that will be 14 and 24.
What, 24? Jesus. Right, cool. Heskin?
I rolled a nice big 12 and an 11.
Cool. Marcus, your 14, was it elf or creature?
I'm sorry?
Did you shoot one of the? Did you stab one of the elves, or did you stab one of the monsters?
Monsters.
Monster. Your 24, was it an elf or a monster?
Elf.
Elf. Tails, your 7, elf or monster?
7 on an elf. Why not?
16, elf or monster?
We'll go with elf again.
Heskin, 12, elf or monster?
I'd go with both monsters.
Cool. Norma, Argon, what are you doing? So what you see before you is these elves have come running out. Arrows start flying. The elves with the double swords each go running into the fight. The two elves that are sort of leading these three-person squads, they are focusing, and they start summoning small snowballs in their hands and launching them into the fight. You see Marcus, Tails and Greenbeard come flying in from the flanks, slashing with daggers, stabbing with rapiers, missing with rapiers. You see Heskin at the back, almost Schwarzeneggering it with his massive crossbow, firing bolts in. These monsters are scything into Tom Tom. You see Tidus start casting little balls, these similar snowballs, firing them into the fight, and controlling this earth elemental, which is just slamming into the monsters. The monsters are hacking away at the earth elemental, and they're jumping onto Tom Tom. So you've got Tom Tom and this earth elemental essentially tanking at the minute, and Heskin, Lucia, and Tidus firing in, and then your three rogues doing what they do best. What do you two do?
I put my bow away, and hopefully the invisible Norma has got the same idea as me, and I sneak in.
So Norma and Argon, you sneak.
Yeah. I'm
Norma,
not
do you
invisible.
follow? You're not invisible, so
No,
you're half skeleton.
I'm hoping Norma is invisible in front of me.
Cool. Do you follow him?
I am
Norma?
certainly invisible. I am somewhere.
Are you with Argon? Just so I know.
I'm heading in, yeah.
Cool. So Argon and Norma. As you go into the tunnel network, it is very wide, 15 feet across, for as far as you can see. You've got dark vision, don't you, Norma? You gnomes. So you can see 60 feet ahead of you. There is a very obvious fork. Like, it's not even slight. It is 15 foot and then just goes bang and forks. There's no creatures ahead of you, but you can hear noise further down. So the fork is at the reach, it's like 55, 60 feet away from you. And again, it's a very wide fork, so the tunnels that split are very wide. They're not like singular tunnels. You're entering quite a large, this whatever made the tunnel naturally or otherwise is wide. Do you let Argon know you're with him?
I'm just going to say left.
You hear the words left, Argon.
I follow sneakily.
You follow the sound of the invisible gnome.
Yep.
How far are you going? So essentially there is a fight going on, so you're going to be able to move if you're using your dash action, etc. Whilst stealthing, you are half movement.
Okay.
In this scenario.
Using all my actions to move in stealth.
Yeah, so all actions to move.
Cool.
Bye, kitty.
So you get takes you. It don't take you too long. You're up now, and you can see Norman obviously down the thingy. Argon, you can't see very well, but you do see distantly down the left-hand tunnel torches every so often.
Right.
Give me
Okay, so
give me
it's-
a what would it be? Give me a your law, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Just give me an intelligence roll.
Sure. 19.
Cool. You're aware that elves can see in low light, so that would explain why the torches are spread apart rather than right next to each other. Whereas humans and others that can't see very well, as well as them, would probably need the torches closer together. Yeah.
Would
Normally-
I be able to see like shapes of people?
Yeah, if there was
Between each.
if
between
there
each.
was people, then yes, you'd be able to see them near the torches. The torch, don't forget, a torch gives off 40 foot of light, so it's like 20 bright and 20 dim.
Yeah.
They're spread out enough just to give the elves somewhat of an advantage of what's coming in. You can assume that the creatures you fought can see crystal clear in the dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at this minute you don't see any shadows, shapes, silhouettes, and you've moved about 60 feet from the cave mouth. On the outside, you guys are actually getting the top side of this fight. You see Tidus brings up he collects and creates three snowflakes that are star shaped in his hands, and as he steps forward and puts them towards a mass that's around TomTom and the earth elemental, a cone of cold just shoots out and absolutely engulfs this small melee that's going on outside the cave, and you can see bits of the monster creatures with their bone sides sort of brittle up, snap off. You see frost all over TomTom's mohawk. The earth elemental loses some of the rocks that go supernaturally cold and frostbite off. He does quite well with his gun of cold. There is nothing you see, obviously Argon and Norma, you don't see this, but the rest of you, there's nothing you see where Tidus tried to not hit TomTom. He just put it into the fight, regardless of the dwarf.
You can take it, good dwarf.
Yeah. Lucia does quite well at just hovering at the back. If anything comes towards her, the odd arrow flies towards Heskin and Lucia, and Lucia has hit two of them out of the air with her short swords. One of them hit Heskin for 3 points of piercing damage, Heskin. Whereas Marcus, Tails and Greenbeard, you are decimating from the flanks. Norma and Argon. What do you do? You're 50 feet in.
Keep going.
You're just going to keep...
Moving.
You're going to keep going down the left-hand tunnel, yeah?
Mm.
Cool.
Until we see something that looks like a cell.
You are now 100 feet into that cave system, going down the left-hand tunnel, and you can see before you it opens up into a bit of an antechamber, so it'd be another 50 feet to the larger area. So the tunnel now is about 25 feet high, so it sort of goes along, and then you can see it go up. Excuse me.
Is there any shapes in? Is it well lit in the antechamber? And can I see any shapes?
In the antechamber, you can see shapes. It is lit enough that the shapes you see are very similar to the creatures, the smaller ones with the sides. And there is, in fact I can tell you, just give me a sec while I multitask. Yay! You see two of them.
Okay.
Right. While you guys are doing that, Gorigar, during your 2 days and the whole refusing of food and the fact that Rosalind is on death's door, there is a moment where it comes to the middle of the day. So you're on the 3rd day now, and you're looking at about 1:30. You can guess that it's an hour or so after lunch. The elf turns back up, Mr. Willowton, nods to the two creatures, the door comes off, and they come flying in. They will eventually beat you into submission, but I've no doubt that you popped off your breath. Well, it's up to you. Did you pop off your breath or not?
No. I would have used it on any food they tried to give us, so
Cool.
I'll say no.
So they've stopped feeding you on the third day. It's just pointless. Why waste good food?
But I will try and channel divinity and stab at anyone with a bone.
So, okay, so they come running in. You try and stab with a bone. What does your channel divinity do?
Just gives me a +3 to hit.
Do you get it twice a day, 3 times a day? How many times?
Once a day, once per short rest.
Cool. So, you use your channel divinity, so note that down. You don't use your breath, so make sure you remember that. And give me 2 attacks with your bone dagger. So you are
17.
Go on. Yep.
And 17.
Cool. Do the damage. Use it as a dagger. So D4.
Yeah, so it's just D4.
Yep. Plus your strength.
Seven and 5.
7 and 5. Cool.
Yeah.
You are then.
There will be a light emitting from the bone as well.
Because you enhance it with your divinity. Cool. So you call on a Beldor, you infuse your bone with a divine energy, and you just fight, swing wildly, bite, scratch, stab with a bone. Eventually, you are beaten into unconsciousness. So you are on 1 hit point at the moment, but unconscious. For ease of thing. Mr. Argan and where am I? I've got tabs everywhere. Argan and Norma. You are, like I said, so you're 100 feet in. 50 feet from you is the entrance to this big antechamber. You can see 2 of them creatures. Give me perception checks, both of you.
My disadvantage for being in the dark.
No, not, because where you're looking, there's enough light.
Got 19.
When I drop, the light will drop.
Yep, I guess, mate. So you got 19, Argan.
See,
Say again, Norma.
20.
20. Natural or?
No.
No, well, we got excited for a little bit. So you two, as you look into the antechamber, you can see to the right-hand side wall at the back of this antechamber, which is massive, what looks like a very large blue-scaled lizard laid on the floor.
Do we just well?
Seems familiar.
Do we do that familiar?
Do you know of a very large blue-scaled lizard that may have been taken into this area?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my god, it's Heskin.
I'll sneak in.
So you're going to move. So your third turn would be another 50 feet up to the edge of the antechamber.
Okay, do that.
Let's go.
So you're at the edge of the antechamber. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Before you, you see this antechamber is 120 feet. 130 feet across from where you stand right now. Yep. It is easily 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet wide. Yep. So it's a very large rectangle-esque shape. There are slight cuts into the area. There is blood all over the floor, absolutely covered in it. The 2 creatures that you see are pottering around. You see 2 elves towards the back. One is near Heskin and just sort of steps out from behind a bit of a strangely shaped pillar that's going up to the roof. Height-wise, it looks about 60 feet up. Yep.
Stepped away from who? Stepped away from Gorigar, right?
Gorigar, sorry. Gorigar.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay. So, okay.
Yeah. So, blood everywhere. In the centre is a 12-foot by 8-foot pit that has blood all around it, like smear marks all over the floor. The smear marks towards the back. There seems to be some sort of drain-esque on the floor, covers, the drain covers around the place. This floor is stone tiled, and the stone tiles are, 15 feet a piece, by 50, they're very large rectangular stone tiles. They've been cut. This place has been made, and you can see Heskin. You can see Gorigar, sorry, who is currently 90 feet from you, ish.
That's a bad number of feet.
The two creatures that you can see are 60 and 65 feet away. The elves are again about 90 feet away. This antechamber is huge.
This is going to be fucking shit.
The only way in and out you can see is the 15 foot across little archway you're in, which then would open up into a almost like 45 foot door. And then across the room on the other side is similar. A very large archway and then the 15-foot door that leads out the other side.
Is anyone particularly looking at Gorigar's body?
There was the elf next to them,
Right.
but has since wandered around. So the
Right,
elf that was near Gorigar has a sword that he or she just happens to be swinging around, and there is another elf at the far side who is counting arrows into their quiver. But they are like I say, they are quite a distance from you. They're currently 100 foot away.
Can I move towards Gorigar stealthily, if possible?
You're not activating.
There's no reason you can't try, my friend. It'd be a separate stealth roll.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Give me a stealth roll.
21.
Nice. Norma, you see Argon pin himself to the wall and then slip into the antechamber and start making his way. It's less that he's hidden and more that he's using the shadows of where the torchlight hit and doesn't hit, and just almost, it's quite artful, to be fair. He's doing a very good job of keeping out of their periphery. But you're invisible, so you're like, whatever.
I'll kind of head in the opposite, to the opposite side.
So
I'm heading towards.
So Gorigar's on the right hand side, so top right where you would be looking, and you're going to go around the left hand side.
Yeah. Yeah. How wide is it? Sorry.
How wide is it? From
the antechamber.
70 feet. Oh, sorry, 65, 60
Okay.
feet. So.
Where
is it?
Yeah, I'll head around the other side to the left side.
Cool. On the outside of the place, you are down to only 2 of the elves and 2 of the monsters, as between the earth elemental and Tom smashing in the melee, Marcus, Tails and Greenbeard absolutely decimate with their sneak attacks flying in and out. The Lucia seems to cast the odd spell now and then, and you see a nice warm blue and powder pink light go over Tom over Heskin. You're fully healed again, Heskin. But other than that, she doesn't really get involved. Tidus throws in a few more frost bites, and what's the fucking other one? He's throwing in frost magic. I can't remember the other country. And yeah, so you're down to 2 and 2. Norma and Argon are quite a, you know, you're pushing a minute that you've been away, which is a long time when your adrenaline is kicking in and you're feeling your heartbeat beat faster and faster, and you are now in this antechamber. Both of you give me perception checks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Of course, I click away from the roll 20.
Oh, I've just seen you log out. So 18, cool.
Have you got my roll?
I don't. Oh, I got your stealth roll, but I don't.
Your plus, do you want me to roll you a perception?
Hold on 1 second. Launching the game.
Because it's just a 1d20 plus 6.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll it for you? You're right.
I'm in.
He's in.
You're in. Cool.
I was pressing the X. 15.
So 15 and an 18. Right, so Norma, from where you are,
Yeah.
The pit is 35 feet from you. You can hear noise in that pit, like screeching and scratching and the growling and sniffing of the creatures. It sounds, obviously it's echoing around that pit, but you don't see anything. Argon, you see, so right now from you, the lovely Gorigar is 70 feet from you, and the elf with the sword that was watching him is 20 feet from Gorigar, but does have his back to you.
Right, okay.
There is a large chest on the other side of Gorigar.
Why would you say that?
In towards the centerpiece,
Money.
so about 25-30 feet from Gorigar, on the central line of the antechamber. So imagine there's a line going through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
At the far side, there is a small humanoid creature, very similar from what you can see from here. Norma, you can see this as well actually, to Norma in stature and build, and they are sort of sat up, but with their heads slumped and not moving. They are either, no offence to Norma, childlike or of the wee folk race. But they don't seem to be moving or anything. And Gorigar is just laid on the floor. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Continue stealthily to make my way toward Gorigar.
Cool. So.
With all my might. I need to get within range.
Right, so you are now, you're not far now. You are. He's only 20 feet from you. Norma, what do you do?
I'm going to move up on my side as well.
Cool, you move up on your side as well. Full movement?
I mean, I'm not going to fall in the pit. But,
No, you're staying to the edge. The pit's in the middle of the antechamber, bang centre.
Cool.
Cool. So.
Yeah, I'll just move my full movement up.
Cool. As you get to there, the creature is about 15 feet from you and starts sniffing towards you, and it comes now, it's 10 feet from you. Yep. You notice that there's a slight build difference in physicality to the ones you've been fighting. This one seems to be heavier set, thicker skulled. From where you were at the edge of the antechamber, you couldn't really notice it, and it's sniffing in your direction, again spitting that acid and fire. There is no sign of the massive ones you fought. It just seems to be, and there's a single medium-sized one that is hanging about near the pit, and is just scratching at the edge of the pit. Now, it is 11 o'clock, so there is about to be, just so you know, a very large fight. You guys managed to get rid of the elves and monsters outside the cave entrance. So you have a decision to make about moving in. So when you move in, it's entirely up to yourselves whether you go left or right, but we will pick this up next session. We will leave Argon and Norma in the antechamber, and the reaction to them being in there will happen next session. So you have between now and then to discuss plans, possible plans. Please use this chat. So we're going to call it there, guys. It's at 11 o'clock at night, so if you are watching or have been watching YouTube, whatever, thank you very much. If you have enjoyed yourselves, please let us know. Subscribe, like, notify, give me some comments. If you want to be critical, please do it constructively, otherwise I'll just ignore it. And yeah, thank you very much. Social media is below you. Thank you very much, players. It's late at night. Katie, get better. Get a lem sip in you, love. Get a lem sip in you. We shall see you all soon. We don't know when the next session of Fable Forgers will be, but keep an eye out on the Facebook, Twitter, blah 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 blah, and we'll let you know. So everyone say goodbye. Oh wait.
Bye.
Bye.
Jesus.
Bye.